Hey, welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod. Joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on a Monday night, ready to do a little bit of podcasting. I got a skedaddle, so I have a hard out, so we can't go too long tonight. But find us everywhere you get podcasts. Search the Blackout Tips, leave us 5-star reviews. You guys know the drill. Apple Podcasts, so you make it nice, we'll read it on the air. All the show notes has all the ways to support the show, whether it be through Patreon, going premium, buying merch, all of that stuff. You can do that right there from the show notes wherever you're listening to this at, or to our website, theblackouttips.com. The official weapon of the show is
Bowling chair.
And the unofficial sport,
Bullet ball.
And bullet ball to the motherfucking extreme, guys.
Oh, I did a guest spot on Insanity Check, which should be coming out soon.
It's already out.
Okay, for those of you that miss Chris doing the Insanity Check, them old school
we
listeners.
go way back with Chris. Like literally, I think he was doing his podcast before us. I think I asked him about how to get the equipment for podcasting, and so without us, without him, it really wouldn't have been no us, because he really helped us out in many ways. But obviously, he's a friend and friend of the show. We used to be able to go on all the time, but then he stopped podcasting for a long time. So yeah, you should definitely check out Karen on there. I actually saved the episode to listen to today.
I had a great time, and it was good to chop it up with him and stuff like that, particularly somebody that steps away and comes back and things like that. It was fun.
All right, you got any banter?
I do.
All right, do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Talk to me. Do you have any banter? Banter? Do you have any banter?
I do.
Talk to me. Banter. Talk to me. Do you have any banter?
I do.
Banter.
I do.
All right, Karen.
I do. We was eating some churros the other day, and Roger said that the churros we was eating tasted like Santa Claus's penis.
That's less of a random thought for you and more of something funny that I said.
It was hilarious, but then I thought if Santa Claus dick did taste like this, I think I might eat it.
Them churros was like Oreo flavored or something.
They were absolutely delicious. We were dipping them in the sauce. I was like, Santa, you wouldn't make it.
Yeah, I said I was trying to be shocking to Karen when I said it. But I stand by my comment though. I think that is probably what it would taste like. I was gonna say Miss Santa Claus's nipples, but we were in public. We were in polite company.
In polite company.
Nah, I just thought it was funny, and Karen thought it was hilarious, so it was worth it.
It was hilarious, because then you got me thinking, you know how they do that gift? I was like, you know what?
If you had to blow the gingerbread man, I'm just saying.
Come on.
My turn. Speaking of sex, you guys know what I'm not a fan of for my birthday is birthday sex. I don't like getting the gift of sex for a present. I don't think it should count as a gift. And the main reason I don't like it is because it's birthday sex. It's for me. If I look down and you're enjoying it too,
so you're selfish?
So now you just getting off of my gift.
Yes.
You got yourself something.
I did.
You didn't really get me anything, really.
The sex.
That's just normal how sex supposed to go. You're both supposed to enjoy it.
Yes.
It's not really a gift. No one's taking on a burden for the other person.
No, they're not.
When it's Karen's birthday and she wants birthday sex, I try to look nonplussed. I try to look completely like I'm not, like this is about you, not me. Okay?
Whatever.
My pleasure is secondary. This is all, today is your day. Okay? I'm not even gonna get off. I'm not even gonna come. That's that, because that would be too selfish. I'm just a machine. Okay?
The hell is wrong with you?
But I don't like it. Birthday sex is overrated. I said it.
Oh, and the next thing is I really do love you, baby. We had went out to eat to a restaurant and we was listening to a nerd podcast and they had said something that kind of struck something in my brain. I don't know why, but it struck something in my brain. So while Roger is trying to eat breakfast, bless his heart, he sat there and listened to me go on about 20 minutes. I don't know why. I felt like I had to get it out my system. 20 minutes about the new Xbox handheld, Steam Switch, and PlayStation. I was just ranting and rambling. Not really ranting, but just kind of expressing in, different ways about how I feel, about the systems and the cost and, and just really, really nerdy, like nerdy shit, and he understood the things that I was talking about, and so I appreciate being able just to when things kind of tick my brain like that and kind of causes me to want to express those things that you just wouldn't have sit and listen to me.
Yeah, it was fine. I mean, I was trying to read a comic book, but you go out to dinner, people talk, and or lunch or breakfast or whatever, and I like those topics. I care about them too, so we were having a discussion. You just got very passionate. It wasn't like I wasn't listening or like I didn't have anything to contribute. I was just letting you say what you wanted to say. But no, I mean, it all made sense, and I love that I have a wife that's a nerd. It doesn't, I like that you're into that stuff. I care about those things. Mm-hmm. So, it was cool to be able to have that kind of conversation. There's a lot of people that feel like they're nerds, but they're alone in their relationship.
Right.
Or, we're all different human beings, but, there's that thing where like you like something and the other person either doesn't like it or doesn't care. And it can give the feeling that they just don't even care about you or what you have to say. But I was listening because I had all those thoughts too. Let's see. I've found a hack for birthday post on Facebook. I suggest everybody do it, but I know some of y'all probably too selfish to do it. Y'all like the extra attention, and it's your birthday, so if you like it, I love it. But for me, I don't like the extra attention on my birthday post. Not that I don't like people wishing me happy birthday, but my brain goes, oh, you have to respond to everybody. You need to like their comment. You need to let them know. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm like more popular than a quote unquote average person, mm-hmm. I'm not gonna respond to thousands of people on.
It's impossible.
I'm not gonna respond to thousands of people on the internet. Like even people text or whatever. So it's cool and I appreciate it, but what I realized is my hack is whenever you guys go on Facebook and you go to your front page, what do you normally see? So I'm not saying for y'all that go into the notification and have it turned on to be like, let me check and see whose birthday it is today. I'm just saying when you go to the front page, I almost never see it's my birthday post. Mm-mm. I see them sometimes, but very rarely. What I normally see, and it could just be me, I see the thanks for all the birthday wishes.
Yeah, I see the person responding.
Which is the post you make the day after your birthday. And then people go, happy belated birthday. Because, so now you got another round of notifications and sometimes you get more on that than it's my birthday post. Mm-hmm. So the hack that I created, guys, my life hack, I only post on my birthday, not the day after. I only post thanks for all the birthday wishes. And I, say what I got to say there. Appreciate y'all, blah, 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 learn so much. So now people respond and they either post happy birthday because it is my birthday and they're paying attention, or like Mike Kaplan texted me on my birthday for the record. And he was like, happy birthday-ish because he thought he had missed it.
Ah, right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Right, because when it's phrased like that, people assume that it's like a day or two after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He said happy birthday-ish. And I said, it's still my B-day. Thanks, man. And he said, woo. Saw your post. Thanks for the birthday wishes. So I thought it might be in the past. which technically it's Mike Kaplan. I could have done a whole thing about how technically everything's in the past, but whatever. I said I posted it because that's normally the post everyone sees after you've already had all your wishes the first day. Then they feel bad for being late, but now they'll find out they're actually right on time. He said, haha, you're a wise man. I said, I hear you get wise as you age, and I can't wait for next year. Yeah, it's like I'm giving them a gift. Mm-hmm. You thought you were late, but you were on time.
You were on time.
So yeah, that's the new birthday hack, guys.
Or either this wasn't really a hack, but be like me. When I graduated from college, I made a timing error in the time when I graduated from school. I had it an hour earlier than the event was actually supposed to be, and I didn't realize I had sent it out like that. So most everybody showed up like early, and then my family that was late, they actually showed up on time.
Oh.
And then they was like, you tricked us to show up on time. I said, I didn't trick you to show up on time. I said, I'm glad you got to see it, because I would have hated for you to miss it because you was outside the parking lot because you was running late. So do little tricks like that when you know folks is going to be late, adjust the time. My turn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Now, this one is it's almost like a skit that I came up in my brain, and I don't know if it's going to make sense or not, but I just wanted to share it with y'all. I wish that I wish I had a skit of a superhero, like, Captain America, Miss Marvel, Wonder Woman, whatever. I wish I had a skit where they do this thing that people do, and they like sit down in front of them signs that would like prove me wrong type of thing, and somebody basically challenges them to be a hero without using their superpowers. Mm-hmm. And the hero does shit like activism. So they start going to the polls, going door to door, and they were like, this shit is hard. Like, it is hard as shit. Like, me just flying over everybody, looking at the bigger picture, punching people in the face is easy. But like, people that actually got to actually do like the groundwork for the masses is different. I knocking on doors, running for local offices and shit like this. I think that that would be an interesting skit. Like, in my brain, I was thinking, yeah, that would be a very interesting skit to have.
Like, you don't have powers, but you just have to be a different type of hero.
Yes.
I actually think, that's a trope in a lot of comic books and TV shows that I like, is when sometimes they take the power away from the hero, meaning they can't, like, oh, you lost your powers. Like Superman 3, I think he loses powers. But then it gets to the core of why you're a hero. Like they did the Captain America. I just recently read a run of his book where it has flashbacks to before he had the super soldier serum, and then flash forwards to him now. And they showed how he like foiled a Nazi plot back before he even had super soldier serum. But he didn't win a single fight. It was like he couldn't, like, it was no espionage, but like he would go, they had these rallies that these like Nazis would have trying to recruit people in America to join a cause. And he like went to the rallies and shouted them down and all this stuff. And so I like that because it gets to like the core of a hero isn't the power set. That's what we get obsessed with. And it's what makes the movie fun. But I like when you get to the core of like a hero would try to find a way to help, even if they couldn't fly over everybody, even if it was hard and difficult, and they would have respect for that work because it takes all of us.
It does. And another kind of little skitty thing I had in my brain, something similar, but like a Jubilee, have a hero sit down, and it's like one hero versus like 20 like people that are kind of anti-hero, coming at the hero, and having a hero quote unquote explain themselves and things like that. And they would say things like they did their own research, and they would say stuff like they would demand Nick Fury's birth certificate and claim that he lied on his resume and shit like that. And I think it would be they would say shit like the super serum gave you AIDS, and you had like a third leg and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
I would find that just as a waste of time for a superhero to do Jubilee.
Complete waste of time.
I love that the skit would point out how much of a waste of time it is. Like, you could be helping people, but you here talking to these fucking idiots.
Right.
So yeah, I like that too.
Yeah. And the person would be like, within, the people would be like, well, no, we didn't ask for your help. You could just, let us, die and shit like that. You doing, damage on the buildings when you come through here. Who's going to pay for that? My insurance goes up and, shit like that, Well,
that's another superhero trope. Like, it's in a lot of comic books. Spider-Man deals with that kind of shit. I like those tropes too. The responsibility to the community that never asked you to do this extra vigilante justice. But the story always kind of comes back to like, the theme is like, you're part of the community and you have a role in protecting the community, and more people than not will realize that you are doing it for the right reasons. Like there's so much corny shit to learn from comic books that just applies to life that I think is worthwhile. Like, even the ones where you just question, like, why does Batman have authority to do anything more than just what a police officer could do? But then ultimately, you see the need for that in some cases, because we all kind of wish we had people like that in real life that we don't have to have.
Agreed. And that's it.
Okay. I went to Office Max today, and I was trying to buy a seat cushion for my chair. Because I wanted like a ergonomic support thing, to just keep my back, keep my butt less sore. And Office Max doesn't sell the cushions for office chairs. And when I went up there to ask about it, she was like, "Oh, we don't sell that. Probably you got to go to Best Buy or Walmart." And Best Buy was next door. So I went to the Best Buy next door, walked in, and they did have a woman standing by the front, and they had some employees in there, which I was a little surprised.
Right, because they normally don't.
Lately, it's been looking like an Amazon warehouse in Best Buy.
Right, you better figure it out. That's how they be looking at you.
But I went in, and she was like, "Can I help you with something?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking for like seat cushions for like an office chair." It's just shot in the dark since Office Max told me they don't have it.
Right, Office Max.
And she was like, "We don't have that. You might want to check out like a Walmart or something like that." Or no, she said you could go online and order. She said our online store has it, but not us, like physically in here.
Okay.
So I went to Walmart, and they did have them in there, but it was a bit surprising that like places that sell office chairs wouldn't have that, because like
you said chairs, you said desk, like you said, like
it feels like an office thing. I know every office I worked in. I mean, shit, a lot of the offices I worked in physically, they would actually be like, "Would you like an ergonomic support? We will get you one.
We will get you
like,
one.
No charge to you. We just trying to keep your back straight."
Right, so that you can be here longer.
I was a little surprised by that.
Right, like Office Max and Office Depot, y'all whole job is, you got office in the name. I don't understand this.
Yeah, like, that's a routine thing, and I wonder if that's just how much Amazon has won. You know where it's like, you don't even keep that shit in stock, because if somebody's looking for it, more than likely they're just going to order it online and get it mailed to them. So why would we even keep that here?
We used to have them in stock, and people used to find the one they want and then turn around and just order it online. So we was like, why do we even have that here anymore?
I guess that is possible. That's a part of the scenario too. But I guess in my mind, it's like, if it was in stock, and it seemed like it would be better to just be able to get it. Like, to something like that feels like you get it when you get it.
Yes.
Like, if my back is hurting, why I'm gonna come in your store, shop around, and be like, "I'll wait." But I guess
right.
But maybe I'm overthinking it, because I guess with shipping being short now, you could maybe
back
get
in the day it was like longer, where going to the store actually mattered.
And I wonder if you're even finding it cheaper than what it is in Best Buy, because Best Buy is already kind of like Amazon. Like, they're not. Like, the markups inside a store at Best Buy isn't like, man, the website got a completely different price. You're not saving money.
No, you're not.
But man, that was a little surprising to me.
Very surprising.
Guess I'm just getting old.
That's like you go in there and they tell you they ain't got the little flow mats that you roll your chair on. They were like, "We don't have them." You be like,
seem like you would just have anyway.
Office shit, your Office Max and Office Depot.
Did you have more? Or you were done? Okay, I'll keep going.
Go ahead.
Ezra Klein talked to Ta-Nehisi Coates on his podcast for like an hour, a little over an hour yesterday. The only reason I know, because I stopped listening to his podcast, but
Same.
Randolph Terrence, my brother, I got so much trouble on my mind. I refuse to lose.
That should be his theme music.
That's my man. So he always, he's always ready for the race war.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows I'm a fan of Coates, and he's a fan of Coates, and we make jokes like my good friend Ty. He was on Letterman last night or whatever. We like make jokes with each other like that. But at any rate, Coates was on there, and Coates had written this response to Ezra Klein's article that basically said Charlie Kirk did politics the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And so they was coming to have like a little intellectual discussion, polite disagreement about it. And I have many thoughts. The whole show could be about my thoughts, because I actually went and listed the whole thing. Like, I didn't just do online snippets or a minute. Like, nobody can get me with if you keep listening, the context was this, you don't know. I do know. But I listened to this discussion, and I'm a big fan of Coates. Honestly, man, at times it made me emotional listening, because he was so on point and so smart and so able to articulate. I mean, it's like his writing, but sometimes writers don't translate to in person, like live. It is not as sharp. But he was very sharp, and it wasn't adversarial. It wasn't like, and apparently Coates has done that podcast a lot of times. They are friends, whether that's the working title of friends or that really friends.
Right.
So what it made me think was, the deep amount of respect I have for Coates, because Coates wrote that article that called out Klein's piece. They have a relationship. So that wasn't just I'm gonna do this, and I don't plan to see or talk to you. You're just some person with an opinion of me. It's like, no, I'm writing this thing about a friend who I think is wrong, and we're having this discussion in public, and and Ezra Klein's podcast is the kind of podcast where I think if you disagree with him and you wanted to come on there, that I don't think it's bad. Like, I think that's a good place to go have a disagreement. I don't think it's like Jubilee.
No, it's not like Jubilee.
Or even like, maybe even like a Joe Rogan-ish or something. Like, I feel like that's a good place to have a discussion with somebody where you should both approach it in good faith, and you can disagree, but at least you know where y'all stood at the end, and maybe even the mind might be changed, although that seems rare and rare these days.
Right.
But Coates goes on there. He's great. There's many holes in the Klein argument to me, but the main thing I took away is that, and I don't, sometimes it's just this simple, and you wish it would be more complicated. I wish I could say it in a way that everyone would be able to understand, but the only way I can explain it is the way that the people that listen to this that know. Ta-Nehisi Coates is a black man. Ezra Klein is not. And that's really the crux of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no, it's why I say I'm not debating politics. I don't find much to discuss at this point, because so much of this is so obvious to me. It's like, when you say something like, well, Kamala Harris actually lost because she's a black woman, a person like Ezra Klein can't accept that answer.
Right.
Because that's not an answer you can go out and change people's minds with, right? You can't say, hey, this, like, we as black people are always prepped for the loss, because America's had a lot of losing when it comes for standing up for black people.
Right.
We've had way more losing than winning.
A whole lot more losing than winning.
And you can't see that, because as a person, a white person, or a person who aligns with whiteness in a certain type of way, with a certain type of white political thought, you can't even accept that sometimes you lose.
That's a part of fighting.
You think you can always win, and the goal should be to always win, and that you should be like thinking about how you're gonna fix when you lose, by completely doing something different. Like, there's a couple statements that he said where I was like, oh, he doesn't even understand how your brain has been affected by this. Like one of the things he said was like, and then he was like I forget the exact wording, but it's something to the effect of like, well, Obama won, then Trump won, then over Hillary, and then Biden barely won, and then Trump won. And I was like, right, but you know what the truth is? In all three of those, they were all barely. There was no mandate. There was no like overarching like, oh wow, one of them, it was 60-40. All the elections in America are coming down to very hairline numbers. But you feel, because you've been so pessimistic about Democrats and you spend a lot of time just talking about just how Democrats you have surrounded yourself in a feeling of loserdom.
A lot of people have.
Like you think you're on a team that lost by 40 when you're on a team that lost a heartbreaking overtime loss in a uphill battle where you had to switch the quarterback out in the third quarter. And you're still walking around like, well, we'll never win again unless we completely change everything we were doing. We got to throw the whole team away. It's right. Like, you lost in overtime. The clock ran out. Like you can, if you played that game again, you could win,
right?
But he's looking for like some feeling of blowout, right? He wants a blowout. He wants a 60-40, like 60% of the country supports Democrats. And the only way that his mind can comprehend that is essentially to compromise democratic values and say, hey, maybe we drop some race stuff. Maybe we drop some pro-choice stuff. Maybe we drop some trans stuff. Maybe we drop all these things so that we can bring people into the party. And what's important about that, and I'm sorry to keep, because I had a much shorter thought, but I'm sorry to keep going here. But what's important about that, what he's saying, in addition to morally being a bit repugnant, in my opinion, not calling him morally repugnant, but just the idea of I don't think you can really sell all this hope and change shit and then be like, yeah, but not for gay people. And one of the things he knocked Obama on in there was kind of plotted for but we've seen them knock Obama on was gay marriage. And it's like, you can't knock Obama on gay marriage for 2008 and then be like, but yeah, we got to give up on people's rights. Like that cost something. That cost something with the gay community when that happened. That wasn't just a harmless stance that he had. Now, none of us really seemed to believe that he was homophobic. We just thought he was scared. And we were like, but we think you're popular enough to get it passed. He might not have been. They floated the research and all that shit, or he might have been like, this is how I get my second term. I don't know. My point being, you can't be like, we're going to have these people in the party because this is what the thought process is. People that like Charlie Kirk and people who are Charlie Kirks, people who go to Trump, people who went from Obama to Trump. The assumption that these guys always make is that it was a political message that caused a switch. And, Coach brought it up, like, there's societal things that are happening too. Like to this day, I don't like, I say this sober minded. I think Obama ran a almost damn near flawless fucking run, right?
I do too.
But to this day, we don't have an economic crash. He's not president.
Right. Do people not understand that?
If the goddamn automobile companies don't need a complete bailout,
housing market,
yeah, but if they don't need a bailout at that time, and McCain is basically being like, fuck them, let them go bankrupt, when Obama's like, no, that's crazy, we got to save that industry. That's why he won. I still remember that. That was only a few weeks before it's time to vote. Yes. And that shit, like his favorability immediately swung to like, okay, this motherfucker is not some crazy person.
Just wouldn't let everything tank.
Right. But if the economy wouldn't been fucked up, if it wouldn't have been something that needed to be saved, I don't know that he wins.
Agreed.
Joe Biden, if not for COVID, if not for the economy coming out of COVID, I don't know that he wins.
Agreed.
We keep acting like and the reason I say it's not fair is because when Hillary loses and Kamala loses, it's messaging. But when Biden won, they didn't give him credit for messaging. If nothing else, Ezra Klein was writing about how he should have stepped down. He was supposed to win on his messaging and then immediately step down and be like, somebody else more progressive come run this country. Not me, the guy who won. We're not gonna. And the reason I say that, had to point it out, is because if you were talking about messaging, you'd be like, no, Biden's messaging was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love what Biden was saying. He was the right. He won because he was right. I knew he was gonna win from the second he popped up. No, you didn't. Many of us had him in last. Many of us didn't think he was gonna make it. Right. Mm-hmm. So all that to say, it comes back to this question of this Charlie Kirk thing, right? He sees the absolute value of Charlie Kirk. Look how many eyeballs were on him. How he wielded that power is sans morality. The fact that he had that power is the true morality, and that's what's admirable. And I feel like only a person of a certain amount of privilege can fix their mouth to say that.
Right.
It's like saying Hitler and the Nazis had good fashions or something. It's like, well, objectively, I mean, the symmetry. It's like, what are we doing? What are you talking about? Like,
right.
Who, like, you don't even understand. You're so deep in the weeds that the cost of going to get these people that support Kirk and go to MAGA rallies, or, swung to Trump because they didn't like that certain progressive people online didn't like their language when they were making jokes or whatever. You never think about what the cost is to go get them, because the cost is letting in the bigotry and giving it up to people. And more importantly, you don't think that the people here will leave. And you haven't done that math.
No, they have not.
And I think particularly after Kamala Harris, we're going to find out. I mean, I'm hoping it's not.
We are going to, but
we have no reason to suspect that everybody that got slapped in the face is going to stay engaged. I guarantee you, if we were to get into like Democratic fundraising right now, it's got to be low
down,
because there's a lot of people who were the backbone who felt insulted.
Yes.
And they're not coming, like, they're not just going to come back because you say, hey, it's voting time, get back to work. I think you're going to see volunteers fall down. Mm-hmm. You're going to see
I said it.
Your donations fall down. Yeah. You're going to see
your phone banking go down. And this is something that I talked about.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I know I've been talking a long time, but I just want to finish the point.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is that bringing in your white guys who went for Rogan and Trump, bringing them into the fold will somehow offset that number, or people will just be so happy they won't mind. That with no reconciliation, with no admission of anything, they will just, and I think that can happen, but only if shit gets so bad no one cares. But right now, people care. You can't, people care that you want to bring people into the fold that were telling us Charlie Kirk was just a good Christian family man.
Right.
People care. You just don't care about us because you think you have us.
Right.
So you just taking us for granted. You think our rights don't need to be respected because fuck it. Your rights are basically privileges to me. My rights are inalienable, but your rights, if we can negotiate, I'm sure we'll get around to your rights.
We get around to it.
And so that's what bothers me about that whole discussion. And look, I don't know Ezra Klein or any of that stuff, but this is that negative piece that Martin Luther King talked about with white moderates. Like, this is it. This is the moment. They shrink. They're not fighters. They not willing to die for this. They not willing to stand on nothing. They more willing to court the fucking empathy and feelings of the people who, because he kept talking about drawing a line. He's like, well, what about us on the left when we draw the line? And I'm like, what's draw the line? Because he was like, define that. Because he was trying to put Coates on the stand. And I'm like, no, you define the line. What's the line? What's the line? Give me a view that's the line for you. Because what you will often find is I have not drawn a line. I've acknowledged the line. So this guy thinks I'm a nigger. And he don't want to be in no party that would have me. And he don't ever want to see me be successful. And he would rather he be unsuccessful as long as I'm unsuccessful. You telling me I drew a line? I'm not the one unwilling to be in a party with him. I'm willing to be in a party with anybody that can drop that racism at the door. But now you trying to make it seem like it's my fault because I recognize my humanity is not a fucking negotiable right. Not with you, not in my own party. And there's this lie that happens, and Ezra Klein trafficked in it, and it's an ego driven lie. They don't know they're lying. They're lying to themselves. But they do this thing of like, no, the people that vote for Trump got their feelings hurt from the left, and then they went full to the like, well, I guess I'll just have to stomach voting for a bigot. It's not that I believe these things, but I just the left told me not to use the slur of tranny, and I can't. Now I have to go over there, and so the reason I call it a lie, because I'm not saying there aren't people that say that. I just know that that's not the fullness of the picture, right? Mm-hmm. Because there's nothing you can say to me that would make me align with a fucking bigot. Nothing. Right? But the lie that it has is that it makes it seem like the left, and I don't mean politicians, the left, all of us, everyone who is left of center in America, it acts like the left is not a place of constant debate, constant pushing of ideas, constant back and forth. It's the only place where you're really allowed to have a dissenting opinion and still stay. Mm-hmm. They act like we are kicking people out. Mm-mm. That's not what's happening. You stay, but we let you know, I didn't like that. And that's it. Your delicate ego can't handle, I didn't like that. I'm born black in America. Every day I wake up, they didn't like that. Ain't nothing I can do about it. But you could change your opinion. So if you're transphobic, you could stop being transphobic tomorrow, and I don't have to bring it up anymore. We can just keep moving the fuck on, right? But if I'm black and they've decided I don't like black people, I can't change that, Ezra. I'm not drawing that line. I didn't make that line. I didn't kick them out of anywhere. They would not have me either. And for me to let them in and tolerate their racism is some burden that you don't understand defeats the fucking point of the coalition. Right. The goal can't be, here's how we progress, but let's not progress. Let's just keep it like it is because, hey, progress is, we'll get around to it hopefully one day, maybe. Nah, you got to fight. And what I loved about what Coach said is that you lose sometimes because that's what I'm at. All this shit is cyclical. Imagine telling somebody during Reconstruction that they couldn't lose again. I'm sure some people was riding high that first 4 years of the 8 years. And then black people looked around like, shit, we're about to lose again. It's about to be fucked up again till 1968. And we're going to have to, people going to die for that to happen. You know? And so I think that's the point that goes missing in these conversations, and it's sad that it's down to race, because it shouldn't be down to race. You should be able to have some empathy for me that you have for Charlie Kirk. You should be able to have that empathy for me and go, yeah, I can see why that's not going to work. But they don't. You know, they're already capitulating because they think they're ready to give up ground because they think they're going to lose all the ground. And sometimes you just have to take that stand and be like, but nah, not on this. And I get it. We all draw the line different places, but that's something you can only do on the left. The left is extremely inclusive because the left this is what the left really, if you think about it, the left has people that are all of it. I mean, you got anti-choice, you got transphobes, you got homophobes, you got racists, you got all of it on the left. The deal is, though, we look at what we have in common and go, I might be uncomfortable with blank, but I'm not uncomfortable enough to give up you and my rights. That's it. Everybody ain't going to be friends like everybody. That's not the goal. Mm-mm. So when you talk about playing politics, why is it always the politics of the right-wing oppressive bullshit? Why is it always we got to play politics when you're making an excuse for somebody to be a fucking piece of shit? And I know that he don't really respect how Charlie Kirk does politics. Mm-mm. He say he did it the right way. But you know how I know he don't know? He don't really respect that man. Because I went on YouTube to see the video of him talking to Ta-Nehisi Coates. He was listening. They were thoughtful. He wasn't interrupting. He didn't call that man no names. And he didn't title the fucking YouTube video, Ezra Klein destroys woke DEI liberal affirmative action writer Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Right.
Which is how Charlie Kirk would have phrased it.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying is anything that attracts eyes is right. That's what you're saying when you tell me Charlie Kirk did something right. And if that's the case, then so does pulling your dick out on 5th Street. I mean, the police camera's gonna show, the news cameras will show up. I guess Rod did walking down the street the right way. Millions of people saw his dick hanging out. It's very insulting. And like I love that Coates was stood steadfast in the face of that, because I know that's his homie, but like he wasn't mean about it, but just being like flat-footed. That's how I feel. That's how I am. Like, you have to be like, this is the truth of the thing. It could be uncomfortable with both of us, but you know the truth of the thing. I said the truth of the thing. You could disagree with it, but you will never be able to say, I sat here and lied to your face and made you feel like to make you feel good, I lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he said it's fatalistic to say sometimes we lose. I say it's realistic and it's historic, and that you're in denial.
That's life.
You're in denial. If you think you can, the country that was founded on genocide and slavery and the oppression of women, to say that is a default, you can only win, we should always be winning, everyone should be on the same page, then you didn't understand the fight. Because the original fight that came to America, the bullies won. They won that fight. This was not a even back and forth. They came superior firepower and superior whatever and savagery, and they brutalized people.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to, and then because I was thinking about this the other day, but do you understand how fucking insane the founding fathers had to be to write that shit that they wrote? What was that discussion like? It was like, we hold these truths to be self-evident. Every man shall, not you niggas, shut the fuck up. Everybody has an inalienable, bitch. If you don't you can't have no bank account. What? Why you keep coming in here? Anyway, we all got inalienable rights, and we should get the right to defend ourselves. You better go to that motherfucking reservation, bitch. You can't defend yourself. Is that a hatchet? We killing everybody. That's what the fuck. Anyway, back to the piece I was writing. We all have the right to liberty and freedom and happiness. Whoosh, nigga, kick that like it was pow word. Like that's crazy. So like it's sad because that racial experiment has cost us so much, because it should not be in my mind. There should be no way that a right-thinking person that claims to be who Ezra Klein say he is,
mm-hmm.
there should be no way that he would even arrive to some of these conclusions unless your experience is so fucking different that you just can't see it.
No, you couldn't.
You read the same history books.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Coach brought up, you know, how if it's not for World War II, do you see even the progress under Lyndon B. Johnson and shit like that?
Right.
And Klein can't. It's like he couldn't hear it.
Mm-mm.
And it's sad because I think every black person in this coalition walks around with a little bit of sadness, and I think everybody of any marginalized group does. But all of us feel a little bit of sadness because that's the homie. Klein is the homie, but to Coates, but he'll never get it.
Mm-mm.
It's that episode of South Park where Stan tells Token, I don't get it, but I guess what I understand is that I don't get it. You know, because Token's talking about being the only black kid and shit, and Stan spends the whole fucking episode trying to understand, and he finally relents with, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to truly understand this."
Mm-mm.
And I think that's the wall that I heard for that hour that they reached, and you know, I could make it about Ezra Klein's person, but I don't know that man like that, honestly.
Mm-mm.
I just know how he sounded,
Mm-hmm.
what it represents, and how it's a frustrating discussion that many of us have felt the need to participate in. I'm sorry to soapbox that because the joke I wrote was really just about.
I
didn't realize I was going to go to. Yeah, the joke was really about the YouTube title.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so sorry that I soapbox that. Karen, go say as much as you want. I'm gonna drink water.
Oh no, you good. And like I said, I heard snippets and bits of it. I know me and my personality. I thought about listening, but I do not think that where I'm at right now, I wouldn't be able to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just keeping it real, like, because it's back to I'm mad, I'm angry, and I'm adamant, and I don't want to hear excuses. And to me, Coates is, from what I heard, Coates is basically coming with these well thought out, logical shit, and all I hear is wah. And see, it makes me mad because I'm like, oh, you're not really listening. You're not really listening.
Yeah, it felt like he wanted to win a discussion or put Coates in some moral quandary, but and shout out to Coates, man, because he really was self-aware, and I think that's something that I don't know if that's something he's always been, and I haven't always been in the right places to catch it, because like, sometimes he would write shit, and I'm a fan, like I'm not just some fucking hater, but he would write shit sometimes, and I'd be like, I mean, that's a point, but that's not a complete picture of what you're saying. But this time, he was given the complete picture in a way that I have so much tremendous respect for people that are that self-aware, because he's like, he talked about like stuff he's written about Obama, but also while recognizing Obama's the first black president. And so some of the things I wish cast on him are probably things that would not allow him to be the first black president.
Right.
Or he wouldn't be the 2-term first black president, or he wouldn't be a successful, but I can want things. My black wants are valid, but I understand that I am always playing the cynical chess game in America as a black person when I vote. I never get a perfect candidate. I never voted for a perfect message.
Right.
I'm never going to.
Right. And that's why I said in my mind, that's why I said certain things I just don't want to hear.
I understand. Yeah, I respect it.
And because also, not trying funny, you have to be truthful with yourself.
Yeah.
And so for this one, I'm actually just I'm not saying I won't ever listen to it, but just the anger and the vitriol that I have in my heart against people that don't want to see my humanity right now. Like, I don't want to talk.
I respect it. Like I said, I'm not suggesting it really for you, but I like to listen to these things in their entirety or not talk about them at all.
I get that,
because I think too much of our commentary online is, I saw 15 seconds of something and here's 30 minutes of thoughts, and it's like that, and then it's all covered when you go look at it. You're like, that's not even what happened.
Agree. But,
so
I'm glad you're here to go into like that details and things like that.
I respect it,
and also and I know we have to go in a little bit, but also
keep going,
to go back into some of the things you were saying. I remember when Kamala lost, one of the very first things I said, and I will stick to this: Black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party. We vote at a higher clip than anybody else in this country. And so in my mind, it was a slap in the face to us. So at that period of time, I said on the show, I was like, a lot of people are going to get the shock of their lives when things start happening, and they're going to look for us and we're not going to be there. They're going to start calling. They're going to start emailing. Shit's going to go unanswered. People going to step off boards. People going to be like, I ain't got time. Because it's getting to the point now where people go, oh, no. When I was out here talking and marching, when I was out here marching on your behalf, somebody who actually don't like me, I was more concerned about your humanity than you were about mine. Somebody who's actually understands that when I'm free, we're all free. If I make more money, we all make more money. The doors open up for everybody. Normally, a lot of people from other nationalities, a lot of other black and brown people only benefit and only get the things that they get is because of black people's here in America sacrifice. A lot of people, a lot of other black and brown people can get shit that I can't even get. And I was fucking born and raised here, and so it's a slap in the face and it's insulting. So you're going to get a lot of, I'm not going to give you no $1,000 or $5,000 that I was, because we're the most educated group too.
Well, also in the wake of the loss, the message has been we got to get less black and less woman.
All right.
So it's not just black women responding to like Kamala loss, I'm mad. It's Ezra Klein telling you that your right to being pro-choice, it should be up for negotiation within your own party. And he's a nice, polite person, but I can do the math. If you say it about women, 50%, if not more of the party, then you're absolutely saying that about every other issue, because that's the biggest minority, even if they have superior numbers within the Democratic Party, right? That's the biggest minority group. So you telling them, yeah, your right to your own womb is something that we need to be willing to have you deal with not having those rights sometimes.
Right.
And okay, where would you stop?
That's my thing. I feel like, and a lot of people, even a lot of black people, get caught up in this trope. Whenever you attack a minority group, I always know that I'm on the list. I don't have to be your target to know that I'm your target. Like I am also your target. When you start attacking these other groups, I always know that I am the next in line. And so this is why I'm always willing to fight and things like that. And I think I have like a fire within my soul right now that I'm like, no, I'm good. I just don't want to.
I think also if a person like Ezra Klein truly ascribed to the amount of power he gives political figures, which I think he gives too much power to him. He's like, but this is how, once again, they work backwards. The result, and then they go write a narrative. And I get it. You're a writer. You have to come up with a story. But just because you come up with a story don't make it true, right?
Right.
So they work backwards. Obama wins is because the hope and the change and the messaging, not because the economy scared the shit out of everybody, and a few white people that would have been like, no niggas for me, was like, actually this time I'll do it. He gonna keep me from losing my job at the car plant, right? So like we will never give credit to just lifing. It's got to be something the president did. Same thing that goes with the economy. Like presidents take credit for the economy, get blamed for the economy, but often the time the president doesn't actually determine the economy, right?
They do not.
Anyway, if he truly believed in political messaging the way he does, some Democrat just needs to get on message, then he wouldn't be telling Democrats to compromise their values. If it's just a message that needs to be wrapped in a different coat of paint and galvanize people, why would you ever compromise your values?
Agreed. Isn't
it always the politician's fault for not espousing the values in a way that changes hearts and minds and makes people emotionally, value those things? That's right. Like, I'll give you another thing about Obama that I thought was interesting. I'm a pragmatist. I'm a realist. I'm extremely grounded in reality. It's annoying to people. I get it. I don't blame you. Rod's not the guy to float your conspiracy by. He's just gonna tear it apart. Rod's the one that's like, is that what happened?
Is that the truth? Rod asks questions.
Rod watches the whole Ezra Klein coach discussion. It just I don't want to just go off the handle if I don't, if I can help it, right? I just feel like I'm a realist. So when Obama said everything he said during his campaign, I listened and I paid attention.
I did too.
And to this day, I still think the reason I have never been disappointed in him in the way that some black people have been is because I at no point got emotionally overinvested,
right,
and assumed anything more than what he was given, except on, I think, gay marriage. Gay marriage is the only one where I was like, I think he just thinks he can't say the truth. But other people took that with everything. They're like, oh, reparations, or being anti-war, or be like things where I'm like, but no, he said if he had to, he would be willing to go into Pakistan in a debate. I just thought he was going to stop all the wars. It's like, no, but he didn't. What?
He never said that. I think
he used to be a community organizer. He used to be an activist, but he's running for president. He's not going to be an activist president. I still remember people being. I remember there were black people that were upset that he said, like during the uprisings of like Ferguson and stuff, like, "Hey man, we got to be peaceful. We got to go back to the house."
The president.
And I remember being on a podcast with a guy who was hotter than fish grease about it. And I was like, am I fucking tripping? When did he ever show you the temperament of burn this motherfucker down?
Right. He would have never got the job.
And he's president. I know you didn't expect him to say nothing.
Right.
Now you get to be disappointed because your black feelings are valid, but there are feelings. There are feelings and that come from an expectation that may not be grounded in anything real. And that's okay that you got those feelings, but they don't get to, for me, supplant reality to where I'm like, well, if you feel like that, that's what he should have did. No, I know he's not going to do it.
Right.
I don't expect any president to do it except for Donald Trump.
Right.
So anyway, all that to say, like, if you truly believe in political messaging, I think the Democrat that you want to run is a Democrat that goes up there and says, we will not abandon anyone.
Right.
We are better than this. Our country is better than this. I believe in our highest values. And maybe you don't address the deplorables and all that shit, but you get up there and you give the Captain America speech. You don't give you don't give the, hey man, look, sometimes you can't have rights. You get up there and you say, we're going to get all the rights. Leader.
Right. We're going to get all the rights and we have to fight for it and we have to demand it. And
if that message doesn't win, then we just have to lose.
Right. That's a part of the process. Like losing is a part of the process.
It's always, I'm not saying it's part of the process. It's just always a possibility.
Agreed.
And if you're not willing to accept that, then you already lost. Because what you're saying is, let's just stop fighting for the rights that we want and just align with them. And the last...
For somebody like me, I'm like, that means the death of me. No, thank you.
And the last thing I'll say too is this: a person like Klein will never understand how insulting it is, but the amount of empathy, reverence, love, optimism, hope, commonality that he sees with people who are racist, sexist, xenophobic, homophobic, transphobic, Islamophobic, that is the reason we'll never be able to trust you. Right. I can't have you bend on that. Because that's a lot of our biggest fears is y'all get in these rooms together and you put us on the table. You know, and we're not in any of the seats at the table either for you.
Right. And we're not being considered about shit.
That you're sitting at a table with us, but you're longing for them. It's why Bernie Sanders' white working class shit is a trigger for many black people.
Yes.
Because we know what he's dog whistling and saying is like, oh, we got your ass. Where you gonna go? You don't matter.
Right.
You know who matters? The guy who's slurring you. It's not his fault. It's the economy. I feel sorry for him. He just doesn't know he's voting against his own interests. I just need to give a message to him that will reach him. And it always takes away their own agency. These people, the 90,000 people who got into an arena and mourned Charlie Kirk,
they wanted that.
You take away their agency. They're now children. They're babies. They're just out here doing shit.
Right.
He couldn't understand the concept of why some black people, 80% of black men vote Democrat, 20% vote Republican. And he couldn't understand the concept of just some black men just conservative and they gonna do that.
Yes, they are.
It wasn't a message. The Democratic Party doesn't get 100% of anybody. Not even black women. But why are we held to the 100% standard? Because you don't really care about us. You don't respect our agency and our autonomy. You don't respect Ta-Nehisi Coates, who is smarter and more versed in this than you, telling you a truth that you can't handle. So you had to come up with a fiction where these white people just lost and they don't understand. They not your real enemy. They just need to be told it.
No, the they're right not message. Your real enemy, but they my enemy.
Right. You don't want to accept it. You saying I'm drawing a line when I go, I don't want you to say racist shit to me.
Right.
Just why are we drawing that line? Well, because it's my humanity on the line now. It's not yours. You want to have a debate with the guy about why he's saying the N-word, and then you want to shake hands after no minds being changed. You know, to uphold Charlie Kirk as a guy doing things the right way, and you can't pull one instance of anybody changing his mind.
Right. It's very insulting.
It's smoke and mirrors. It's a puppet show, and he's got his hand up your ass. You know, this wasn't supposed to get this serious or this long, but yeah, that's what all that stuff made me think of. And I'm not saying a guy like Ezra Klein is the enemy or a Nazi or kicked out of the party.
Mm-mm.
What I'm saying is he's part of it, and this is who we working with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wish he would hear this and think about this. I'm saying you with us, right? The people that he's courting are people who said, I refuse to be with them. I'm going to be with Trump. Mm-hmm. And if he can't see the disconnect, that is a personal choice they made.
A personal one.
That he isn't making.
Mm-mm.
Like, he goes on these podcasts to debate these people. They're not coming. Like, you're doing the work you claim needs to be done, right? Are any of them coming around? Nope. Any of them like, you know what, I would vote for a Democrat now?
Mm-mm. They still passing the fucked up ass policies.
Where's your scolding of them then? Or go chastise them about drawing that line. Go chastise them about kicking people out. Like they're kicking people out of the country. You know? Go chastise them. Because all of us on the left, including myself, have gotten a tug from people more to the left than us. Mm-hmm. And it's not always a tug that I'm willing to go with. Meaning, like, sometimes they say some shit and I'll be like, you out your motherfucking mind.
I sure will.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that. Like everybody got their line, but mine was the no police.
Yeah, but
right.
It's not the specifics. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to debate it, litigate it. I'm saying everyone has, if you're over here, you done been tugged to the left with something that you went, no. If you still over here, that tells you this not an intolerant party.
Agreed.
You're intolerant to go, what? I can't say that I think women shouldn't be in swimming sports. I can't even say that. Well, I said that only biological women should be in there. And we'll go, I disagree. I think you're being transphobic, or I think, whatever. But we're not going to make you leave. You got your feelings hurt because somebody didn't think you were the greatest shit on the earth for a second. And then you went and said, in addition to my point about I'm against anyone who's not born a woman being in women's sports, I'm also now with taking your fucking freedoms, taking your rights, taking your identification, taking your ability to use the bathroom. And you want me to go over to that person and go, no, please, I'm nice, come back. Fuck you. All right, I gotta wrap up because that's time to go. But I'll use the AI to put commercials in this. All right, y'all. Until next time. I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.